Hey, everybody, welcome back. We are QOTD, and this is the QOTD Thursday Big Show. This is the show where we take all of your best answers from the entire week and run them off head to head, coming up with the very best answers to our awesome questions from all week long. Every day we've been putting out a new question. Friday there's a question, Saturday there's a question, Sunday there's a question, and each of those questions count. We're going to play each of them today. And then we're going to listen to the amazing answers that you recorded on BeOnTheAir.com. You guys are going to vote, and then we're going to pick the best of the best. And that's the way we play QOTD. So, Trish, what's our questions today?
It's rhyme time. Our questions today have to do with super dogs, terrible jobs, Area 51, and your crazy mom.
There was a rhyme in there someplace?
Ish.
What's a rhyme? Because like dogs and jobs.
No. It's semi-rhyme time here on QOTD. well, it was a little whacked.
But I'm with you, yo. So those were the questions for the week. And I've been playing all week. I know what those things are. I've got answers to almost all of them, right? They all require a certain amount of thought, but I've been kind of playing along with everybody else. So
let's hit it. Do you want to hit it?
Yeah.
Let's move from rhyme time into prime time.
Oh, I love it. Yes. All right. Well, as whacked as my rhymes are, we're also talking about wacky theories, aliens, Bigfoot, and ghosts. Oh my! What out-of-the-box theories do you believe in?
I gotta say, I'm a little embarrassed by this because I consider myself to be a person of science, right? I love my math. I was like studying physics in school, but I've had some weird things happen to me, and things that I didn't want to believe in, I kind of got to believe in now. And it's all to just say that the world is a very big place and maybe we just haven't fully described everything. But my house, I live in this very, very old house on the East Coast, and we have a ghost. And we'll be sitting downstairs watching TV, just kind of hanging out. And then we'll hear like thumping and bumping upstairs. But this has been going on for like 20 years. It's all very predictable. But so I don't know what you guys believe about this kind of thing, but I'm pretty confident that we have a friendly ghost, but a ghost. That's my belief.
Or like a really stealthy squatter.
Or squirrel. Yeah, exactly. In the walls. That's so creepy. Thank you for that image, Reid.
Both options are terrifying. So it's really just about whether you want it to be something extra supernatural, which I think has like that little cool factor, or if it's a squatter, which is actually just downright terrifying.
Yeah, no, I think it's a ghost because ghost is cooler.
Yeah, thank you. And I gotta tell you, people are scarier than ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather be, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from viewers, and let's see if they have any ghosts in their houses. But I think we've definitely got some good theories in there that they believe. So let's see.
Look, space and time are connected, right? Scientists, astrophysicists, all of them, they tell us this is true. Space-time, it's a connected thing, and you can't really separate them within the universe, right? Which means that if space is a different size, time is at a different scale, which means that at the Big Bang, which supposedly inflated much of the universe in less than a second, in an instant, if space was that small, that means time was either a lot smaller or a lot bigger. I'm not sure which. Maybe it took a really, really long time based on how time was stretched then, or maybe it was even faster than no time at all. Dig that.
Longer, and that is super groovy. That's a front.
The out-of-box theory that I totally believe in is that we used to live on Mars, but we ruined it with like a nuclear apocalypse. So we came to Earth on the pyramids. The pyramids are actually spaceships, and that's how we resettled Earth. We're not originally from Earth, we're from Mars, and we came down through the pyramid spaceships.
I believe in that.
Okay.
I personally believe in ghosts. I think they are real. You can call them ghosts, energies, or spirits, or whatever, but I think they do exist. They are among us, and that there are good ones and bad ones. The good ones are like good energy, bad ones bad energy. I feel like they're like beings of a different dimension, if I can say so.
Whoa. I mean, they are by their nature, by their definition.
About 3 or 4 years ago, I had a really weird, superstitious, scary encounter at night at my summer camp that I go down to like almost every year. Now, there was a really big flying saucer looking like object above the field, and it lit the whole place like it was sunlight. And I couldn't believe it. Like, that was when I was convinced that, oh, okay, we're not alone. I'm sure aliens exist. I don't know about Bigfoot and ghosts, though.
That's terrifying.
You think it's terrifying?
Ghosts. Ooh.
She's making fun of me.
You lived in your attic.
She's coming for your
It's weird. I
trauma.
think that aliens and ghosts are real. So I do believe in different dimensions, but I also believe in higher intelligent beings which exist outside of our universe. So it's weird. I don't necessarily know if there is life and existence outside of our universe, or if also there's like a second dimension of life, and that's ghosts. So ghosts and aliens, I feel like they both coincide.
I think she's saying that they're the same thing. We just don't know what they really are.
But they're smarter than us.
Well, clearly.
You know that.
Well, guys, it's time to vote. There are blue buttons across the bottom of the screen. If you're watching us on, say, YouTube or Twitch, you can go over to BeOnTheAir.com. There's a link in the chat. And you can head over to BeOnTheAir.com, and that gives you the opportunity to vote for one of these awesome answers from fans who have been recording throughout this week. Are you going to vote for, like, Jay Gish, who's, like, got some weird theory about space-time expanding and that the eternity could be in a millisecond? It's like from Animal House. London says, we came here from Mars via pyramid spaceships. Martin's like, yeah, spirits, ghosts, totally. Smiley, flying saucers and aliens. She believes in ghosts, maybe. And then we got either aliens or ghosts coming from Devin, but something else that's...
Oh, looks like Martin is our winner.
He's like, there's energies out in the world that we don't really understand.
Seems like we got a lot of supernatural believers in
See,
the fandom. I like it.
So I know that you guys were saying that it's terrifying for there to be the thought of like a supernatural being in your house, right? But I think that it's, and the reason why we all believe, because of course we're all speculating, we don't know. If we knew, then we would know, right? But I think it's very comforting to think that there's like something else out there that's providing order to our lives that kind of can feel somewhat chaotic, right? Everything is happening for a purpose, maybe, because there is some like external force that's helping, guide and shape us, whether it came from pyramids or, spaceships, or there are our ancestors speaking to us, or something else. That there's something that's good. There's a specialness and a richness to that. That's why I think we love that.
Well, the question becomes then, is it comforting to think about the conspiracy that we're living in a simulation? Talk about ceding control or like having a purpose. What if everything is preordained for us?
I find that horrifying. I really do. I mean, you've all seen the movie, right? And our lives are meaningless. All we are is like batteries powering somebody else's world, and everything that we think about is just like random thoughts. That's what the world feels like oftentimes, right? We're going through this destiny that really just involves like following our DNA programming, and that's a life that doesn't have a lot of meaning. I think that's what the Matrix. That's why it's so scary. But then he builds meaning out of it. Neo, right?
Sure.
We can play The Sims, so we're the people of our own simulations.
Oh,
Yes.
please give me a nicer car.
Well, speaking of sort of simulations and simulated scenarios, I think we can go into our next question, which gets into a very fun type of imagined scenario.
Oh, that's right. You could bring back your ancestors if you want, or you could choose somebody from today. But if you could pick anyone, living or dead, to spend 2 hours cooking with, who would it be? And what food are you making?
Oh, I love this question. I mean, there's so many like celebrities that I would love to cook with nowadays. I gave it a little bit of thought, and I think my person might be Doja Cat, because I think she's just a great like person. I think she's a very fun person. And I think she would introduce like a lot of really fun, healthy chaos into the scenario of what we're making. And I think in terms of what we're making, I would say just mac and cheese, because I love mac and cheese. Got it. I think that's it. Yeah, no, there's so many good people though. Also Pedro Pascal.
Why? I mean, yes, cool celebrity, but like, why particularly him in the kitchen?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a famous person. I think he'd just be great at it. He's great at everything.
Yeah.
And not Snoop and Martha, huh?
I'm doing Snoop and Martha.
Love.
And we're making mac and cheese.
Definitely.
And ice cream sundaes. Because you have to have something sweet.
One on top of it.
An ice cream mac and cheese sandwich.
We're keeping it civilized, all right?
Good point. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans. So let's see what their dream kitchen is, who's in it, and what they're making.
I would have to say I would really like Ina Garten. I think we would make great cocktails together, and I think it would just be a lot of fun. She's hilarious, and I love her popped collars.
She is the master of the craft cocktail, Ina Garten.
So when my family came to the United States, my grandma had previously had a very sheltered life, but when she came to America, she ended up having to basically start over. So if I could cook with anybody for 2 hours, it would be her.
It's hard to read that idea.
Hands down, I would spend my 2 hours with my mom. She passed away 10 years ago, but was a wonderful cook and baker especially, and I have a giant sweet tooth, so making things from her recipe book, albeit not as well as she did, bring me back to my childhood and really good memories with her, so that would be just an incredible 2 hours.
Kitchen's where it happens. That's where, family.
I gotta go with the chef from Ratatouille. I believe his name is Gustavo. Unfortunately, he passed away, leaving only his son Linguini. But, I think his message, anyone can cook, is really important. And I think he could show me a thing or two.
Or Tui.
I thought he was going to go with the rat.
I would absolutely choose my grandmother on my mom's side. She passed away over 10 years ago, but she probably cooks the best Indian food that I've ever had, and I would love to spend that time with her.
Oh my God. So nice. Truly the kitchen is where family's made.
I think it's Jesus, and I think we're making fish, bread, and wine, because I don't have to bring very much to this. And then when are you ever going to get a chance to see that again?
Oh my God.
Oh, literally. Well, y'all, it's time for everybody to vote, and we gotta go for Ina Gardner, Grandma, Mom. These are rending ones. Gustavo, of course, from Ratatouille, but not the rat, not little rat friend, or somebody's grandmother. These are all very kind of moving things. But so anyway, we got to pick. Which one of these answers that you thought was the most entertaining, the most illuminating, the one that you agree with the most, whatever. Just click a blue button.
Yes, and if you're not on BeOnTheAir.com, ready to click those buttons, you should head over there right now and stay there. But also stay on YouTube so you can watch us here. Or Twitch.
Yeah, I think we can add a little button to the chat where people can vote without leaving YouTube. I have an idea.
I love that.
Twitch, you can do it.
Looks like Christina is our winner. I was hoping for the chef from Ratatouille just so I could tell you guys his name is Gusteau, not Gustavo.
Oh, well, That's why, that's why he didn't win.
That's right.
Exactly.
So what's the name of his little rat friend?
Remy.
Yeah. Little chef.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to Ratatouille.
It's a good movie, right? It's right up there with for me, where it's got like a moment where, it just sort of transcends like a little silly little cartoon, right?
Exactly. And who doesn't love Paris? Like,
I mean, literally. Yeah, I think that was a good mix of very heartfelt and also very funny answers. So
Yes.
a good question for sure. I'm trying to think of a good if we're talking about the kitchen, we have to talk about restaurants and we have to talk about working in restaurants, which can often get a little dicey, let's say.
And that's right. We're going to take you right from the comfort of home into the chaos of the commercial kitchen. And we're asking about workplace nightmares. If you've ever worked in the service industry, what's your nightmare workplace story?
ooh.
Nice a little way.
Yeah. I never worked in a kitchen. I did work in a bakery as one of my first jobs. And on my first day, it was kind of my fault. It was the worst thing, but there was a two-way swinging door and I went to leave for the day. I had just clocked out and I kind of, I was excited to get outside. So I kind of pushed the door a little bit. I didn't know someone was coming in. And she fell. Like, I hit the door and I knocked her down onto her face and I felt so bad. And I was like, I was 15. I was like, do I have to take you to the hospital? I can't even drive. Like, I'll just walk with you and like give you moral support. I'm so sorry. And I did come back the next day and nobody blamed me, but I have carried the guilt since then. I felt so bad. And I never saw that lady again either. So
QOTD like group therapy. So
yeah, a little bit. I'm like, guys, can you tell me it's not my fault, please? I'm sorry.
They should add a little window.
I should have just gone one way. I don't know. You're in like a very busy bakery. I don't know why.
I know, and you knocked her on her buns.
Yeah.
Just like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans about their own nightmare workplace stories. So let's see if any of them can quite rival Reid almost sending someone to the hospital because of a door. It's okay.
Hi. I have worked in the service industry. I've been a waitress at 3 different restaurants, and my nightmare is children. No story. Just if you have children, I don't think they should be allowed to eat at restaurants unless they're well behaved or on a leash.
On her dating file, right? Hate kids.
Right.
Well, I'm at work right now. Can't talk about this one. I worked at Walmart before. Price matching was a nightmare. I had a pack of hot dogs thrown at me.
Wow.
One time when I was at my old job, a kid peed on the floor during the middle of the day. And the mom just like, sorry, and left. So I had to clean it up. That was a fun day. Only made $8 an hour. So, yeah, definitely not worth it.
She just left?
She should be on. Yeah. People are off.
Is banking considered a service industry? Yes. I was a teller and I got robbed at gunpoint and he left with a couple $100. They found him and they sent him to like 50 years to life because he had robbed like 10 other banks before with guns. The worst part of it was my bank manager, the general manager at the time, wouldn't stop making fun of me because the robber was short. So he makes fun of me that this little guy came up to me and said, "Give me your money," and then I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Thanks.
That must have been terrifying.
I don't know if it matters. He's short. He had a gun.
Exactly.
That's a true nightmare.
So I don't know if this is considered a nightmare, but I used to work at an ice cream shop for
from ages 15 to 20. And I just remember in one instance, this startled me a lot. So this was my nightmare. These two girls come in. They're clearly not well. They seem like they're not homeless, but they're not like not homeless. And they just look like they're definitely on something. And so the one girl orders for the girl next to her, because the girl next to her couldn't even look at anyone, couldn't even speak, couldn't even stop shaking. And looking someone in the eyes that is just so apparently dealing with addiction is so startling as someone that's 15, never seeing that unless it's on like TV, you know? So to be able to see someone that couldn't even function in public because they were just shaking and like definitely wasn't a sickness. Like this girl was 110% on something. That was definitely a good nightmare to have at work as a 15-year-old. To this day, I will never do anything like that, and that is confirmed because of her. So thank you.
I must be 15.
I have worked in retail for a little bit, so I think one of the worst nights was when my back door key got jammed. So essentially I couldn't lock the back door, and it was around 10 p.m. So the only thing I had to do, the only thing I could do was tie shoestrings to something heavy so the door would not close. I know it sounds confusing and crazy, and I had to wait until midnight until the lock company would come in. So that was crazy. I waited till midnight. I didn't go home till like 1 a.m. that night for a door.
She's a good worker. She stuck it out. Right? Good for her. But yeah, that must be tough. Well, guys, it's time to vote. Alicia, Crystal, Chris P, The Real James, Sonia, JNM 101. Which of these guys spoke to you with their service story? Vote for one of them. Send them to the finals. There are blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. Maybe. If there are not blue buttons on the screen, what you might do is click on the link in the chat. Go on over to BeOnTheAir.com, and there you shall find blue buttons that you can click on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. A very wide range of answers for this question.
Yeah, no, like I don't envy any of you. Chris was the winner. So it was hot dogs to the face.
You could imagine what chaos that is, and then somebody threw a pack of hot dogs at her. It's with you.
Oh my.
Yeah, hot dogs.
Hey, work like those. Oh my gosh, is that a pet cameo?
It is.
Oh my gosh, that is the perfect lead into the next question.
Yes, make sure to introduce the next question.
Yes, this show, like the hot dogs being thrown at Crystal, goes a mile a minute. Let's go to the next question.
We wanted to know what makes your pet the very best pet in the world. Mine is that my cat is famous. My cat is on QOTD, on the payroll, shows up for work every day.
Yeah, now we respect his ethic. But the problem with your cat is that he's got a mouse's name. Like, what's with that? Why did you name the cat Mickey?
He has, he's white, and then he has like the Mickey outline of like the ears and the little face on his side. It's very prominent.
On his little face, okay. So like
his name is Mickey.
Calling out his birthmark. It's like you're going to name him Pat, something like that. So mean.
Fort Weinstein.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people love their animals so much. I'm sure everybody thinks that their pet is the best. I've been like truly blessed, and I'll just say that with total sincerity, to have so many really awesome pets. And I don't want to single any of them out because I don't want anybody to feel bad, But right now I'm down to 2 dogs and 1 cat, and they're all pretty cool. They all defy, all expectations, and they're very smart and loving. But, that's me. That's my pets. They also do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, famously one of the announcement videos, I think it was one of your dogs opened a door with his paw. Very talented, very skilled.
Yeah, send him pick locks too. He's pretty amazing. You gotta be careful.
That girl from the service industry question needed him.
The other day my cat came in. My cat goes out a lot at night. And my cat came in and he was painted blue. Totally blue. I'll take a picture of him. And I could only think that he got inspired by Sonny's lockpicking ability, went off and tried to rob a bank. And then when he opened up the bag, one of those paint bombs went off because he's covered with that blue paint. But fortunately, he got away, but I don't think he got the cash.
Nobody's going to make a cat burglar joke here? Not one of you?
It can be you. Well, we have our incredible pets, but we also have some answers from fans coming in right now. So let's see if any of their pets can rival Mickey and Sunny, the incredible cat and the lick pot.
My dog, Tripsy, is the best dog ever. He is the best pet I ever had. And after I lost him, I no longer got any pets of my own because it was so painful that I can never go through that again. And I miss him. That's all I can say.
I think Tripsy would want you to love again, Smiley.
Me too.
The last pet I had was a dog, and my dog was the best dog in the world because he was so friendly. He loved playing with people. He had this pretty golden brown color with hazel green eyes, and that was one of the last things that my dad purchased before he passed away.
A lot of memories in that.
My pet Prim is the cutest in the whole world, and she's really affectionate and really sweet, and she'll walk over to you and just wait to be petted or try to pet you. So she's really, really cute.
I like that idea.
So cute.
I think that my dog is probably the best dog in the world because he has a big imagination. He thinks, he's a pretty small dog, he thinks that he's the security guard, right? He thinks that he's gonna get things done. He's gonna be in his attack position ready to go when there's actually nothing there. Doorbell rings, he's on duty, right? And he thinks that he can protect us. And it's cute, really, but I think he's the best because he believes he is the best, so.
Dog's got heart. I like that. And I like a dog that wants the job.
Yeah.
What makes my pet the best? Well, let me tell you, I don't have one.
No mess.
My
No
pet,
worries.
the best pet in the world is that they can float. Yeah, it's a rubber duck. Their name is Ducky, and Ducky can speak. What's up, Ducky? Dude, you need to see a therapist. That's rude.
So obscenities this morning. Yeah.
What did that dog just call me?
Yeah.
What the duck? Yeah. I had to
vote for Tripsy or for Crystal's dog with hazel eyes, Prim, the dog with a mission, no dog Sarah, or Ducky.
A great mix of pets. Once again, a really good mix of very emotional, heartfelt stories and some very classic relatable pet content. It's a good mix of answers.
Yeah, I want a dog that saved your life, or the cat that, I don't know. What is it the cats can do? Oh, whatever.
Oh, Devin.
Good job, Devin.
Yeah.
Devin's going to go to the finals.
Guys, we want to see your pets, though. I don't know how many times we have to say. I would like to see your pets. Please.
Yes, we've been over this many, many times. You have to show us your pet. We have a question about like recording your pet doing a trick, but oh my gosh.
Oh, you're zooming into a picture. I thought you were holding your dog up and he was just like limp like that.
The dog's like 85 pounds. There's no limp. No, that's just a picture.
We loved hearing about them, but the cameo is also always appreciated.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, speaking of, there's no good transition. Well, speaking of pets can be like family. And I think our next question, we get into another side of family, but one that's a little bit more an opportunity to vent than an opportunity for, oh my gosh.
You're doing just fine. You know what we're talking about? We're going from crazy cats to crazy parents. We want to know something your parents do that drive you mad. Where do we begin?
I've said this before. I'll switch my answer, actually. My mom is definitely a really big backseat driver. I was picking her up actually yesterday, and I think in like the 2-minute drive, I got maybe 15 commands. Like, turn left here, and like, watch out for the person driving the road. I'm like, yeah, I know, I was gonna hit them actually. Thanks, Mom. It's just simple things like this, and I'm like, okay, I can get out of the car. Like, I don't think it works for me because I get like stuff like that really spikes my cortisol. But I think it's a reflex for her, and it's a reflex for me to be like, well, I'll just get out then. So, not a great recipe.
Wow.
No, but that's so fun. Yeah, no, I think it's just a very parent thing. For me, it's my dad who's very much like the backseat driver. Like, he's always like, how fast are you going? Got to make sure that you like slow down at the right time for the red light, and just it's every part of it as if he's driving. And it's
a red light, and they're like, stop here, and I'm like, yeah, that's the first thing they teach you. I'm aware.
Yeah, well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see if there's any relatable content. I'm sure there's going to be, but let's see what they say.
Something my parents do that drives me crazy is they're nonstop questioning and asking about what I will do with my life next, or like they would tell me, oh, do this, do that, and knowing that this is my life, I get to choose what I want.
So is that over-involvement or is that caring?
I know.
Something my mother still asks me to this day. When I go over to her house, she asks me, will I rub her feet? No, I won't rub your feet. I'm not rubbing feet anymore. No.
Anymore?
There's any more. Respect it, Mom.
Well, I'm Gen Z, and they are boomers. So it drives me crazy when they try to give me advice on anything to do with today's job market or the rental market or how to spend my money. They have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. Things were very different for them back then, and for them to give me advice on how I should spend my money and how I should do things in today's market when things were a lot easier for them, they have no idea what they're talking about. It drives me crazy. It's ridiculous.
War bonds. That's what you should buy.
War bonds. Oh my God.
So my parents have this little habit of whenever I go away to school, they like to rearrange the whole house. So whenever I come home, we kind of have a tradition where I get a house tour of the house that I grew up in, except I recognize nothing because the whole thing has been completely rearranged when I was gone, and I have to figure out my way through my own house.
It's like, oh, by the way,
your toes, yeah.
Yeah, we got you a new bed, by the way.
Nitpick me. Every single time I do something, they nitpick me, and it's annoying. Like, I haven't done the laundry 1,000,000 times, and you're still nitpicking me on how I do it? Like, okay, I fill the detergent up halfway. All right, every single time. I don't need to be reminded. Mom.
Oh my God, I'd be so relieved if my kids did the laundry. I would never harass them at all. So happy.
So something that's crazy my parents do, I gotta say it's probably my mom.
that just drives me crazy is when I'm perfectly fine and she's got to ask a million times, am I okay? Just because I'm not consistently talking and jumping up and down and running around at my ripe age. So yeah, that's what drives me crazy. Yes, I'm okay. You don't have to ask a million times.
I don't know.
My mom does that too, but I know it's because they care. Yes. But it is.
How are you going to answer that? Actually, I'm deeply troubled, and I'd like to share that with you, my old parents. I'm hard imagining it. Well, guys, it's time to vote. There are blue buttons across the bottom of your screen, and you click one of these guys and send them to the finals. Which of these guys that you thought was like the most interesting? What was the best answer? By the way, if you don't have blue buttons across the bottom of your screen, you can click the link and go to BeOnTheAir.com. That's where the buttons are until we figure out how to put them into chat on YouTube.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean, I got an idea, but anyway, it's not there yet. So you got to go click one of those chat links, then come over and click again. But vote for one of these guys. They deserve it. At least one of them does. Man.
Sure.
Imagine if your parents rearranged the house every time you came home. It's like, fortunately, we didn't just like move every time, right? Because that would be.
Yeah, now you're flying to St. Louis, then you're flying to San Francisco. It's a travel thing.
Zach. It's the nitpicky parents.
Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. But Zach is
with the territory.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like I do that. Maybe I do that. Guys, do I do that? Let me know.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So the weird thing about like parents and family, if you're asking me, is that whenever you're back with your parents, if you've been living on your own for a while, you sort of get transported back to when you're like 7. I think that's what's really going on, is that they just can't let go of that person and recognize that you're an adult and that your relationship is a little bit different. My parents do the same thing too, and I'm like, old.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's definitely, Reid, I think you said it, it's just because they care. I think ultimately they get on us about everything and they do all these things just because they want us to live our best lives. So I think keeping that in mind definitely helps like put things in perspective. And being older, I can sort of see that now.
And it never ends. Like, you're still their babies,
Of course. I see it more when I'm not with them, and then when I get home and my mom asks if I'm okay, I'm like, yes, Mom.
You know what? Maybe they're not busy enough. Maybe they need a pet.
Oh.
My little brother still lives at home, and he's wanted a dog for so long.
Yeah, but it would keep your parents busy if they had a pet that they could, talk to.
That could service them.
Yes, but the question is, when they go on planes, what will happen? Oh. This next question, I think, attempts to answer that.
That's right. We want to know, should only trained service dogs be allowed on airplanes, or is any comforting pet okay to board?
I heard about like the Department of Transportation. I think it said last year that only trained service dogs are allowed on planes. And I think my opinion on it is that within reason, I think other pets should be allowed on. And also I have yet to hear about people who have I heard stories about people talking about like peacocks and all these different animals. I have yet to hear about a legitimate comfort peacock or a comfort ox. So I feel like all of these comfort pets that people are talking about would legitimately be like cats or dogs or guinea pigs, which I think, it's fine.
That's very mammal-centric of you, if you don't mind me saying.
Very what?
Mammal-centric. I mean, why could
Yeah, why not a comfort chameleon?
Yeah.
That too.
A service snake. No.
Oh my gosh, no. But that was where my mind went to. I knew this girl who had a snake one time, and she was like, yeah, he's super chill. Like, he's calm. We talk to each other. And I'm like, you are a loony.
Well, the thing is, if you bring a snake on a plane, you can then do and then when you're getting off, you can do we have to get these snakes off this plane from Snakes on a Plane. So that's a good added benefit, I will say. I think we have some answers coming in from viewers with their opinions on this issue. So let's see what they have to say on it.
I think as long as your animal is within reason
and it does what you need it to do, you should be allowed to have it on a plane. Obviously, we're not bringing an elephant on a plane, but if you need a frog, if it helps you, if it genuinely helps you, take.
An emo.
Only dogs are allowed to be service animals? Come on. In Florida, there's a lady with an alligator as a service animal. I mean, that might be taking it too far, but I think they could expand it maybe just a little bit more to allow maybe cats, even a hamster if it's in a cage on an airplane. I know flyers have taken advantage, but come on.
You okay, Reid?
Okay, so my first answer is definitely anyone should be able to bring an animal with them on a plane if they are like giving them emotional support. But logistically, like what if their emotional support animal is like a gigantic pig or a mastiff or something? Like that wouldn't work.
That's the problem.
Or pony. People will bring ponies.
Nope. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that the Department of Transportation is limiting service animals to dogs. I think that you should be able to bring whatever animal you're connected with on the plane within size reason. Like, don't bring a horse on the plane. But if you have like a service goat and that goat helps you bring yourself from up here back to where you need to be, bring your goat, bro. I do think that the process to be certified should be harder. The animal should definitely be trained. But if you need a goat, bring your goat, bro.
Within size reason. We can't even follow the carry-on rule.
Yeah, I don't know about a goat.
Transportation made a great call, only allowing dogs as service animals. The reason being, I read an article that said that flyers were taking advantage and bringing on all kinds of animals, including peacocks and pigs, onto a plane. Where that's crazy. Like a peacock on a plane? Come on.
Ugh, those poor flight attendants too.
We got too many.
Trying to carry
I
out the snack
completely
tray.
understand that some people have service animals that are not dogs. However, when you're dealing with an airline and such strict protocols, you don't want to turn the airline into a stock carrier. And so it really does need to be narrowed down. Now, I understand that that's going to limit some people from being able to travel. However, there's other travel options and there's other ways to go about getting across the country. And if you need a service pig, then maybe you need to look at some different options.
Take a service pig on the compromise is what she's saying. We don't always get exactly what we want. Christina, blasphemy. Everybody, it's time to vote. Which of these attitudes is the one that you subscribe to? Do we like having all these crazy animals on a plane, or maybe a dog's enough? I'm not sure. What do you think? I want to know. So click one of those blue buttons and let's send one of these people to the finals, thereby registering your opinion on this important social issue.
Yes.
If you don't see blue buttons, click the link in chat. It'll take you to BeOnTheAir.com, and there you will have the opportunity to vote for one of these great people. And thanks to all of them for recording.
Yeah, as usual, I like there's range.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a winner coming in, so which we'll get into. All right, tomorrow, bring your goats. Come one, come all.
Bring your goats. And you can also do a little bit of what do they call that? Like the goat exercise thing?
Goat yoga.
Yes.
Goat yoga.
On the plane. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I feel like the next question also very much continues with the idea of pets.
It does. Yeah. I wonder, how would your bird feel about being flown somewhere, right? Like, that's weird. If you could interview your pet, ask your pet one question, what would you ask him?
Yeah, you could walk to California.
Yeah, that's true. Pets, interviewing pets. It's interesting. If I could interview my pet and just ask one question, obviously fans of the show know that my cat's a little crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Seriously, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you get little microaggressions, or why do you sleep all day? And then I get on a conference call, and the minute my computer dings, you're like zooming around and jumping on the table. I just would really love to know what's going on.
You got one question, so you're going to pick a really broad one, like, what's up with you? This goes back to the parents' question, when your mom's like, what's wrong?
Are you okay? I am. I'm going to pick that broad of a question because I want to know what is wrong with this animal.
I mean, dogs, I go like, man, that can't taste good. Seriously.
Yeah.
Whatever. The dog's breakfast. That can't be good. You familiar?
Right?
So weird.
Yeah, I would want to know if I had a pet, what their political beliefs were.
Right,
Make sure we're on the same page. Yeah.
Decide whether or not to feed them tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
But it would depend if you owned a donkey or an elephant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Good point. And, yes, and unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to bring the elephant on a plane. So
no,
right.
We all agree on that.
Yes. Well, I think
donkeys are big too.
Yeah.
Too big for a plane, in my opinion.
Not according to Tamara.
I know. Sorry, that's Tamara's word. All right.
Good point. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans with what questions they would ask their pets. So let's see if any of them reflect our own questions for our own pets.
If I could ask my pet one question, are you an agent? If you were an agent and you can talk, tell me right now. And I will ask that because I be seeing all the movies. I be seeing all the cartoon movies, and I really feel like dogs can talk. When they bark at us, I really feel like they talk, we just don't know what they're saying. So I feel like if I could go to my pet right now, I would ask him, do you work for an agency? If you do work for an agency, I need to know. Let me know right now so we can both be on the same accord. I won't tell nobody.
Classic Perry the Platypus situation.
If I could ask my pet one question and they could answer it, what would I ask? I would ask my pet, I would say, Simon, why the heck are you following me around all day?
And we'll see what Simon says.
If I could ask my pet one question, it would probably be why he always pees in my bed. Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough.
That's imperative.
Yeah, I get that one
If I
out.
could ask my pet one question, it would be, what are the things that really make you happy, that you really enjoy in your life and want to do for the rest of your remaining years?
That's a pretty lucky dog to have an care. It's like, how can I?
If you could ask your pet one question and they could answer, what would it be? Yeah, I would ask him why he won't leave me the heck alone. He just bothers me all the time, and I'd like to know, why won't you leave me alone?
Doggedly following you around.
She's following us around.
If I could ask my pet any question, I'd probably ask him if he liked me. After all these years, I really want to know that because I feel like we're best friends, but what if he secretly hates me? That would be pretty sad.
Oh, that would be. But then, do you want to know?
Oh,
is ignorance bliss?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you really love me? Guys, it's time to vote. Who do you really love? Which of these people is asking the question of their pet that maybe you would want to know as well, right? I got questions. I'm going to pick one of these questions, but I'm definitely not going to ask, do you love me? Because I don't want to know the answer unless the answer is yes. But I do want to know the answer if the answer is yes.
Yes.
So click a blue button and let's send one of these people, to the finals with their pet question. This is our last question.
It is our last question of the week, the big one.
Yeah, this one counts, folks.
Oh, we got an answer coming in. Let's see who it is.
Elle Holman, leave her alone.
Dogging her. So funny.
Yeah.
Well, there's a dog that probably loves her, right? Because he's following her around.
Yeah.
I want more.
Or he's hungry.
Yeah. Oh, right. All the time.
I mean, it could be both. I know that my family dog follows my parents around because I think she loves them, and I think because they give her food, they give her walks. So it's like she loves them because they satisfy her like basic needs. So that could be a problem. That could be an answer.
There is an important lesson in there. I guess love is not totally unconditional. You can feed the dog. I mean, I'm not like your parent telling you what you should do.
Yeah, well, they're also the ones who give her like the human food, so that's another bit of it. Well, I think it's time. We've finished. We've gotten the answer for the last question, the winner. So now we have finally the winner's round.
Yes, love them. So what we've been doing so far is going through each day of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking at that question of the day and looking at the best answers that you guys have recorded for that question. And then you voted. There was one answer for each question that has made it to the finals, the one that you've selected. And so now what we're going to do is quickly review the 7 answers that we've had so far, and then we're going to vote for one. And this one is going to be our champion, the best QOTD fan answer for the entire week. This is very exciting.
Yes, this is momentous. This is what the whole week has been coming towards, the culmination of an entire week of activity and questions. So I think now let's review the winners. Let's get into it.
My pet Prim is the cutest in the whole world, and she's really affectionate and really sweet, and she'll walk over to you and just wait to be petted or try to pet you. So she's really, really cute.
Yeah, Devin's answering the question of why is your pet the best pet in the whole world?
If you could ask your pet one question and they could answer, what would it be? Yeah, I would ask him why he won't leave me the heck alone. He just bothers me all the time, and I'd like to know, why won't you leave me alone?
What's up? If you could ask your pet any question, what would you ask?
Well, I'm at work right now. Can't talk about this one. I worked at Walmart before. Price matching was a nightmare. I had a pack of hot dogs thrown at me.
Crystal's telling us her nightmare service job story.
Nope. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that the Department of Transportation is limiting service animals to dogs. I think that you should be able to bring whatever animal you're connected with on the plane within size reason. Like, don't bring a horse on the plane. But if you have like a service goat and that goat helps you bring yourself from up here back to where you need to be, bring your goat, bro. I do think that the process to be certified should be harder. The animal should definitely be trained. But if you need a goat, bring your goat, bro.
Yeah. Should all kinds of service animals be allowed on plane or just trained?
They nitpick me. Every single time I do something, they nitpick me. And it's annoying. Like, I haven't done the laundry 1,000,000 times and you're still nitpicking me on how I do it? Like, okay, I fill the detergent up halfway. All right? Every single time. I don't need to be reminded. Mom.
Zach's telling us what it is about his parents that drives him crazy.
I would have to say I would really like Ina Garten. I think we would make great cocktails together, and I think it would just be a lot of fun. She's hilarious, and I love her popped collars.
Yeah, if Christina can spend 2 hours in the kitchen with anyone who ever lived, she's going with Ina Garten.
I personally believe in ghosts. I think they are real. You can call them ghosts. Energies or spirits or whatever, but I think they do exist. They are among us, and that there are good ones and bad ones. The good ones are like good energy, bad ones bad energy. I feel like they're like beings of a different dimension, if I can say so.
Yes, it's a broad way of talking about the subject. what's a crazy out of the box theory that you believe in? And he's saying he believes in aliens and or ghosts. Well, it's time to vote, folks. There are buttons across the bottom of your screen. Click on one of these people and choose the QOTD fan answer of the week. If you don't see any buttons on the bottom of your screen, you can click on the link in chat that will take you to BeOnTheAir.com. And there you shall see buttons. And then, if you wish, you may click one.
Oh, this is the big one. I think we had a good set of questions. A lot of pet questions, I noticed. Whether it's like pets and family.
Mm-hmm. Is it like National Pet Day or what were we thinking?
Last week was like National Pet Week. Whoa, the hot dog lady!
There, Crystal, that's your identity now.
Yeah, Krista wins with her answer to the question of what your nightmare workplace story, if you've ever worked in the service. That is a hard job facing people, right? In a way where they can talk back. You know?
Yeah, especially at a place like Walmart too, where it's like you have to give people exactly what they want, or they will throw hot dogs in your face, as we've learned.
Yeah, steer them to the wrong aisle, forget about it. Hot dog to the face.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good week. We had some very, very interesting questions, a little pet heavy, but I like that kind of thing because you know me, I talk about my pets all the time. But now we are getting into the new week. So the way that it goes down is there's a new question on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and Monday. Every day you have the opportunity to answer a question of the day. And then people will vote and send you stars. And if yours is one of the best questions, according to our audience and the AI that analyzes that, then you're going to show up on the big show, which you've just seen. So I don't need to explain that to you again. But that's the way the whole thing works. And we're going to be releasing the question of the day in just a couple of hours. But maybe for our loyal fans who are watching, can we sneak out a little hint to maybe give them the question for tomorrow or something like that? Does anybody know?
I know.
Oh, Trish.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, but I'll give you a cryptic clue. We're talking about pushing up daisies.
In that positive way. Yeah.
In the most positive way.
Fun kind of positive way. Not in an alien conspiracy ghost theory kind of way. Well, that's... I am looking forward to finding out what the heck we're talking about. We are getting near that time of year, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Where one can be working in the ground, let's just say. It is. I usually think of the first Saturday in May as being the day where you got to have your stuff in the ground.
When would that be? Next Saturday? Yeah, all week.
Exactly. Some call it Derby Day.
That's right.
But my experience has been that's like the first day of the year where you can count on, at least where we live, where there's going to be like no more frost. It's going to be a nice day. It's probably not going to rain for some queer reason. And so here we are, right? Planting in a positive way, pushing up daisies.
We've got a ton of great questions for next week, though. Got a great lineup. I love it. I really hope that we get a lot of great answers this week. We've got questions about small towns and small business, superstars and spaceships. We just got a huge array, and I can't wait to see the fan answers.
All right, guys, you heard it. Go to BeOnTheAir.com and record your answer to these amazing questions.
Yes, please do. Very excited to play Sunflower by Post Malone for tomorrow's question, let's say. Well, I think we've gone through the show. We have our winners and we have our big overall week champions. So I think we can say goodbye for now. We are QOTD and BeOnTheAir.com signing off. Get those answers in, get ready for next week, and we will see you all on TV. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
It's Crystal.